Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to discuss an epic encounter happened yesterday between Pragnananda from India versus Vincent Kima from Germany, which made Pragnananda India's #1 rated player. This game is very interesting. I don't want to waste any further time. It's the tournament Prague International Chess Festival 2024 which started yesterday. The game is going to be simply epic. I don't want to waste any further time, so let's quickly jump into the video. So, Pragnananda is playing with the white pieces and the time control is 90 plus 30. So Pragnananda with the white pieces starts the game with 1 e4. And after e4, Vincent replies with e5. We have knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to c4, also known as the Italian game, knight to f6, d3. And d3 first protecting the pawn on e4. Indeed, white can also castle in this position, but white decides to play the move d3 in order to defend the e4 pawn. Bishop to c5, short castle, a6, making a square for the bishop to go on a7, c3. And already this is a huge amount of theory. Both the players are very well prepared out of the opening. We have the Goku piano opening on the board, c3. The idea could be to play d4 or even d4 striking in the center. So after c3, black plays bishop a7, keeping the flexibility with the bishop, and it is also known as prophylaxis, already taking some preparations regarding b4 or d4. We have a4 expanding on the queen side, d6, pushing up the pawn. The idea is to develop the bishop now. Rook to e1, short castle, h3. And after h3, already white is trying to cover the bishop g4. If in this position at the place of short castle, if black continues with bishop g4 in this position, as white has not yet played the move h3, white can already develop the knight to d2 followed by knight f1, knight g3, and then play h3, hitting this bishop. This is the usual idea in such position. So first black simply short castle, and now h3, knight to h5. Black's idea could be to put the knight to f4, or maybe trying to get the queen into the game, maybe king h8, f5 could be an idea. So after knight h5, white first played bishop g5, developing the bishop and also hitting the queen. So Vincent simply took his knight back. We have d4. Now Pragnananda idea is to simply strike in the center. That's his idea. And the idea, for example, if black continues something like, let's take any random move. Let's take a move like king h8. The idea could be to simply capture the pawn in this position, and after pawn takes, white can even simply trade off the queens in this position, followed by, like, if rook takes, the pawn is hanging, so like how can you continue? If knight takes, white can simply capture the e5 pawn. So you can see, you can already sense like either of a pawn is hanging. So that's the whole idea. So black took the immediate action via h6, trying to first kick the bishop h4, and now black played the move g5. And after g5, definitely Vincent, I guess, is already thinking and already expecting Pragnananda to play the move bishop g3, which is the best move. And here Pragnananda simply took on g5 with the knight, and he rarely took 5 minutes to calculate everything. He simply captured on g5. Knight into g5, sacrificing a minor piece, h5, bishop g5, and after bishop g5 already pinning up this knight. And white's idea is pretty simple. White wants to play rook e3, rook g3, trying to get the queen into the game and try to checkmate the black king. In this position, it's your move to play. You're playing with the black pieces. How are you going to continue the game in this position if you're playing with the black pieces? Try to pause the video and try to find the best move. So okay, so I think many of the players must have been thinking to play the move king g7, which is usually the idea of putting the king to g7 to defend the knight on f6. But in this position, it's a bad move because here after rook e3, the rook is simply coming to g3, which is giving white an extra tempo to hit the king, which is already a losing move for black. So Vincent played the move king h7, and if you found the move king h7, brilliant. King h7. Now what's the idea? In this position, if rook e3, as the pawn is already on h3, the rook is not having the square of h3. So rook king h7 is the best move. Queen f3, hitting the knight, and there's only one move for black. King g6, defending the knight and also hitting the bishop. bishop to h4, falling back with the bishop, and now capturing the pawn on d4. After pawn takes, white first gave a check, kicking the king, and now playing the move bishop g5. After bishop g5, what's the idea? In this position, if, for example, black plays something like bishop e6, keep on developing the pieces, it's already a blunder after queen h4 check, king g7, queen h6 check, and simply followed by capturing the knight and white's completely winning. That's the reason black played the move rook h8. What's the idea? The idea here is after queen h4 check, black can play king to g7, attacking the queen and also taking away the h6 square and also protecting the knight. And black is already winning in this position, so it's a bad move. So white found the best move, which is to play the move knight d2, bringing the pieces into the game. And after knight d2, Vincent played the move queen g8, which was a brilliant move in the position, suggested by chess.com. And after queen g8, what's happened? Why it's a brilliant move. After queen g8, the idea here is black simply giving up a knight for free. Now what's the idea? The idea here is now black is simply going to take on g3, fg3, and finally d into c3, giving a check to the white king. And now once the king moves, black can simply capture the knight, and black is actually completely winning in this position. You can just count out the material after something like rook e2, rook e8, just count the material, black is completely winning in the position. So this is exactly what happens after bishop f6. It's a blunder. So here, you must pause the video in this position and you must try to find the best move for white in this position if you're playing with the white pieces. Okay, so if you found this amazing move, I'm simply impressed by you guys. e5, a very strong move, a very powerful move. e5, what's the idea? It doesn't matter how are you going to capture the pawn on e5 with. Let's check d5, bishop d3 check, forcing black to step on this step on the queen's file, which could be extremely dangerous after rook e5. And the point here is if you try to capture the rook in this position, queen e5, f6 can't be protected. Like if you try to do so like via queen d8, simply knight e4, and the game is over for black. That's exactly the idea. And if knight into pawn, still sacrificing the rook, bishop d3 check, you can even capture the pawn and it's completely winning. That's the idea. The idea of pushing the pawn was to simply make the diagonal for the bishop to bring the maximum pieces into the game. So here, black played knight h5 first, attacking the queen, queen h4, attacking the knight. So black played the move queen g6, trying to defend the knight. And it somehow looks like black maybe have consolidated the position somehow, which engine agrees. It says it's an equal position, but practically it's a total mess. After queen g6, we have the move bishop f6 by Pragnanda, again finding the best move. After bishop f6, white is simply attacking the rook, rook g8, and now white played the move bishop d5, a very interesting move defending the g2 pawn with the bishop, bringing the maximum pieces into the game. And after bishop d5, black played the move bishop f5, also developing the pieces. Bishop to f3, and after bishop f3, white's idea, or white is simply putting pressure on the knight on h5. So here, Vincent played the move rook to e8, which was a bad move in the position. In this position, the best move for black here, I want all of you guys to pause the video and try to think, how are you going to continue the position? Okay, so there are two moves for black to continue the position, dc3, but I personally feel knight into e5 simply very strong move. Knight into e5, what's the idea? Like, first of all, if you try to capture the knight, it's already a bad move. After takes, black can simply capture on h3 and black is better in the position. So after knight into e5, white takes on e5, pawn takes, rook takes, and the idea is to simply finally to take the knight maybe in the position. Rook into e5, and here black plays the move king h6 in the position, trying to defend the knight. That's the whole idea. And after king h6, if you try to play a move like queen into h5, it's not really working after takes. Black is not going to capture the bishop in the position, but he's going to play the move bishop h3, where after bishop f3, bishop e6, and black is better in the position, or it's roundabout even. So going back in this position, if white plays a move like knight e4, the idea is to play the move knight g3 in the position, and black in this position is going to take on c3, where after knight g3, putting more pressure on the knight on h5. Here, black is having a very strong move, which is bishop into f2 check, king f2, queen into g3, consolidating the position. And in the position, in the end, black is a piece up and winning the game. So knight e4 is also not working. With g4, thinking to attack the bishop and the knight, it's still not working after f6, hitting the rook. The rook falls back, and black can capture the pawn on c3. Pawn takes, rook d1, and here simply queen g5, forcing the queen trade. And the point here is it doesn't matter where the king goes, the king is not safe. If king h1, black is having bishop c2 attacking the rook. If king h2, there is this bishop c2 still. And if king f1, there is this bishop d3 check and moving the knight, and black is winning the game. So this is exactly why knight e5 was such a strong move in the position. But rook e8 was played by Vincent Kima, taking almost 1 minute, or 2 minutes you can say. Rook e8 and here g3 by Pragnanda, very strong move. And after g3, there is no longer white is hanging any kind of mate over here. So here, black played the move king h6 in this position. The point here is knight into e5 is not working in this position because bishop h5 is just too strong. There is no longer a queen into g2. So white is completely winning after queen h6, knight e4, followed by knight g5. And the position is completely winning for white. That's the reason king h6 was played in the game to defend the knight in this position. But here, white is simply having g4, extremely strong move. Again, this time, g4, dc3, and after dc3, Pragnanda first captured the pawn. But here, g5 was extremely strong move, giving a check. And the point here is, if king goes to h7, bishop h5 is completely winning. So after g5 check, black is forced to give up the queen in the position. Where after bishop takes, rook takes. Here's my question. What are you going to play in this position if you're playing with the white pieces? Try to pause the video and try to find the best move. Okay, so I think there are two main moves for white to consider, king h2 or king h1. What is the best move? The point here is, if king h2, exactly, it's the best move. King h1 is the bad move. What's the idea? After king h1, the point here is, after cd2, first of all, black is having 3 minor pieces for the queen. So after cd2, rook g1, rook g8, takes, rook g1. Here, black can simply trade off the rook, and here white is forced to capture the rook because it's a check. So after takes, bishop g6, and everything is well protected, so it's an even position. But if I go back, if at the place of king h1, if I put the king to h2 and have the same position on the board, this time after rook g1, where black is forced to capture the rook, I'm not really liable to capture the rook, but first I'm going to capture the knight on h5, giving a check. And here I'm going to simply capture the rook, and it's completely winning. That's the whole idea, that g5 was completely winning in this position. But Pragnanda went for first capturing the pawn on c3, which was also a fine move. Knight into e5, and now g5, because it was anyway a very unstoppable move, I would say. g5, where again king h7 is not possible because bishop h5 is just too strong. So queen g5, bishop g5, rook g5, and here Pragnanda simply played the move king h2, moving the quick king, and here knight g6 played by Vincent Kima, trying to capture the queen. But here Pragnanda simply simplified the position instantly by capturing 2 rooks for the queen, and you just count the material. White is just having 2 rooks for 2 minor pieces and a pawn, which is completely winning position for white. So after a couple of moves like knight f4, bishop into pawn, capturing a pawn, rook h8, bishop g6, bishop b6, knight c4, takes, rook f1, takes, and here simply rook g5, bishop takes, attacking the rook, but there's simply rook f4, knight f4, rook g6, rook b6, and after rook b6 on the move number 41, Vincent Kima decided to resign the game because it's completely winning. White is simply having a passed pawn, which is going to be a queen. And there is no stopping it, so white is completely winning. So this is how Pragnanda simply defeated Vincent Kima in the very first round of the Prague International Chess Festival 2024. And this was simply a mind-blowing game, and this is how Pragnanda simply became the Indian #1 latest. So yeah, this was a very interesting and epic encounter. The tournament has just begun. We are going to have some very interesting games pretty soon. So if you learned anything new from this particular video, then make sure to like the video, share this video with everyone, and make sure to subscribe to our channel if you are new to our channel. It's free for you, but it helps us to motivate to make more videos like this. So I'm going to see you soon. So till then, stay tuned and keep watching OneShot Chess.